Are you a sex worker looking to build a new website or a website redesign? Then you'll want to consider Fox Digital. They did a fantastic job designing my website, Stripped by Sia. If you want your website done, mention that you're a listener of the show at foxdigital.design for 20% off. Tell them I sent ya. Hey everyone, just popping in here. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a trigger warning in the first half of the episode. There are some mentions of rape and incest, some other forms of sexual assault in this episode. So if that is going to be a trigger for you, please go ahead and skip until the second half of the episode. Thank you and enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Stripped by Sia, your podcast for strippers, sex workers, and all the fancy naked people in between. I am your host, Steph Sia, aka Kimchi on stage. I'm taking a little bit of a break from dancing at the moment. I will be back in the new year in January, so stay tuned when I'm going to be announcing all those live appearances. But in the meantime, you can catch me on OnlyFans. I am a digital content creator there. I make clips, I make customs, I make fun videos that you'll just have to double check and subscribe to find out what the hell is on there. And I was a sugar baby for many years, and that was kind of like my first foray into the sex industry. But this show is not about me. The show is about sex work, and it's all about destigmatizing sex work. And I've been interviewing guests for the past 3 years, bringing different guests onto the show every single week to provide a really transparent approach to sex work and what it is that we do in our industry, whether you are a talent and you're in front of the camera, or if you're a producer behind the scenes, or maybe you work in corporate. I'm really trying to destigmatize and shed light to what it's really like, instead of like other people telling our story and like telling our narrative. It's just not their place to do that. So again, we're just providing a platform where people can really be themselves, and again, provide like a really humanized approach to sex work, because we are just human at the end of the day. But that's a little bit about the show. So if you're new here, that's what we're all about. And I just want to quickly pop in here and kind of give a little shout out to all the paying Patreon subscribers. So I just want to say hello to our second and third tier fans that are on there helping financially support the show. Hello to Jay Sunsern, Arup Sarkar. You're both here in Canada with me. Welcome, welcome. We have Snoo, who is subscribing all the way from Germany, which is a really amazing, fun country as well. Justin Erickson from Vancouver, Washington. And we have a couple other new subscribers. I don't actually know where you're from, but if you want to ever comment on the Patreon, I could definitely shout that out. But hello to Selena Money and Ted McGuire. Thank you so much for all of your help for being on the top tier. You're all helping financially support the podcast, aka my website, which is going to be launching next week for realsies and not just a ghetto one that I had before. So it's going to be brand new and shiny, and that is all up there. And another quick shout out to SkyhawkAfterDarkTV.com, which is an amazing, shout out. It's an amazing adult network of podcasts, videocasts, just like mine, with very, very talented individuals at the helm of it all. So be sure to check out all the fantastic shows that are in a similar vein there, including this week's guest that I'm bringing onto the show, who I've been trying to get on the show for a little bit of time, but our schedules like never matched up because she's so fucking busy all the time. But I would like to introduce this sexy voice that's laughing in the background.
Me.
Me. There you go.
No.
She goes by the name of Lily Craven, and you might know her because she is a porn performer. She's also a webcam model and also the lovely, hilarious radio show host of the show Phone Sex with Lily show. Lily, are you there?
I am. Hello. Thank you for having me.
You're so
Yeah.
welcome.
Emma, we're finally here together
I
again.
know. Again, yes, because we had met back in April at the Why Not reunion. And
Yes.
yes, I just remember like, oh my God, this is the people that I want to meet and connect with. And you were so kind to like hook me up with other people as well in Skyhawk After Dark. So I just want to say thank you for
Oh, you're very welcome. Someone hooked me up, so is my mic okay?
Oh, you're
I'm just making
perfect.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, you're
All right.
perfect.
So yeah, Skyhawk After Dark, they've been a great platform for me to do my show, so I was like, "Oh, she'd be perfect." And you have been.
Thank you.
I heard you're doing very well on it.
Thank you. I'm doing okay. I do what I can do, but
Yeah.
I try.
That's all we can do, right?
Exactly. But I know I just said a couple different titles that you hold. I wanted to throw it back to you so you can give the audience like your own definition of who you are, what it is that you do in your own words and terms, and go.
Okay, so I'm Lily Craven. I am mature now in age. So my niche is the extreme mommy fetish, and AKA MILF, mommy, and I like to play with my sons and their best friends. So it's definitely in the category of taboo. And it is, we'll get into that later about really what it's about. So don't run away quite yet. It is not incest. It's far from it. And a lot of people it's just a misunderstood but
Yes.
extremely popular category.
Very, very popular
It's,
category.
if not the most popular, yes.
Yes, definitely. And we'll definitely get into those details later on because I just want to dissect that because, as you said,
Yes,
it's misunderstood and a lot of people just don't
very
have the
much.
understanding of it. So hopefully
Yes.
this episode will provide some kind of foundational understanding and an overview of what that fetish is all about.
Exactly. And thank you for having me to explain it because it's a good one. It's fun.
Well, speaking of other good things and good ones, I know you have a lot of stories under your belt, including your story of how you got into sex work.
Oh, yes, it's quite the original story, but it is true. I was in a marriage and I was a stay-at-home homemaker, and I discovered he was cheating and cheating with multiples, like not just one or two. It was like everybody I knew.
Oh, fuck.
And yeah, it was, and I found out all at once.
Oh,
So, absolutely being devastated because it was a wonderful marriage. Like it was perfect. It was my dream life.
yeah.
And that got ripped out from underneath me. And immediately I'm angry and I need revenge. And so I'm like, well, I could sleep with his best friend, or I could sleep with his dad, or someone just to fuck him over. And I'm like, no, because then it's not going to be about him anymore and what he did. It's going to flip around on me and he's going to say, you did it too. And so I'm like, well, that's not going to work. So I sat and thought about it. And I picked up and went on a trip to Vegas or Hollywood, I believe, for why not? And I was on a mission to become a porn star for revenge.
Dude.
And that's exactly what I did. So at 40 years old,
Yes.
40, mind you, nowhere to live, nowhere to go. I just picked up and I did that trip. And once I got there, met all the people, I knew it was for me. That your fans, your followers, everybody was so. They literally like I fit in when I don't typically fit in anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I was immediately accepted. My fans, I had the lowest self-esteem, lowest self-worth after that. And they literally like helped me breathe again. And they told me I was important. They told me I was pretty. They told me like everything that I needed at that time, they built me back up. And I forever am grateful to the industry because of it. And in it, I just took it and ran. So
And now
thank you, ex-husband.
yes, that's an incredible story. I have so
Yeah.
many questions that already was like, oh my God, what?
Go ahead.
So spurring. I mean, well, first of all, I will say sex workers, myself included, we are always kind of like the misfits. Like we never like kind of fit in. We're always like kind
Yes.
of out there, right? And then
Yes.
we find each other in this community and just how like supportive it is. And people just like get it and they just get us.
They do. They got it, and I didn't even get myself. Like, I didn't understand why in my life, like, I was always being used or treated like crap, or someone would steal from me, or it didn't matter if it was a friend, my own family members, like, they're just shit, you know? They just crap out on you. There's no loyalty, and there is in the industry. And from day one, I felt something that I never felt like I've never been able to hold a job. You know, I think I've worked one time for like 8 months somewhere, and I got fired from everything. And I was like, how do people work for 25 years, 50 years at a company? Like, those thoughts in my head were very uneasy. They didn't sit well with me, because I'm like, how am I going to do this my whole life? Right. You know, how am I going to? And so my ex-husband did teach me, you know, he was a brilliant business person. So he had a brilliant business mind, and he started teaching me about self-employment and stuff like that while we were married. And so then it just progressed that I was like, I can do this on my own.
Wow.
And I love the challenge. It's like a game of chess. Yeah. Like, everything's very strategic. And I'm a thinker like that. I like the freedom, the people, like, it's done me so well. It put me through, I put myself through school.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it's just so worth it. Like, I wouldn't change a thing, and it's where I belong.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people find a sense of belonging within our industry. I just wanted to like highlight that, because like a lot of us feel the same way, and we're like, this is where we are. This is where we belong. So, I mean, that's really amazing that you were just welcomed with open arms. And I want to kind of like backtrack a little bit too. So like, when you found out that your ex-husband was cheating on you, and you're like, I got to think of a clever way to get back at him. And you thought, okay, I'm going to become a porn star and get into porn and do it that way. Did you ever have any thoughts about this prior, like, to this whole thing blowing up in your face, or like,
nope.
Oh my God.
No, I did. I was a stripper in San Diego back in, I don't even want to say how long ago, but I was like 18, 19, 20. Then I had a family, so I stopped all of that. Like, never even did anything with the adult industry. I didn't even watch porn.
Wow.
So this was a situation where, like, I purposely like thought up, how can I get him? I want to get him. I needed justice.
Yeah.
Like you literally played me for a fool. I was like underestimated, and I'm like, if I didn't stand up for myself somehow, I think it would have lost something inside me that I couldn't ever gain back. So I felt like I had to do something. And really, that's not my motivation now, but it was 100% my original motivation. And it really technically didn't work, because he thought it was cool. So, but it sort of didn't really serve its purpose per se, but it did, because it just sent me in a direction in life that I would have never, ever, ever, ever imagined that I would have been doing. Wow. And I love it.
That's like a complete 180 degree.
Complete. Yep. And I'm self-sufficient. I just bought my own first vehicle. Like, I've never even bought my own car before. So it's stuff like that. I never got my education past high school. I went and put myself through school. They didn't know they were teaching me skills for the porn industry, but yeah. So I did marketing, and which has been, going to school was huge for me. So it's been very empowering, very much so.
I love hearing stories about like this. This is just
it's so good.
It's so
good.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm really glad. I mean, like when you were first starting out in the industry, and like, did you find it, and like, did you have any trouble like navigating? Like, did you even know where to go, who to talk to? What about the scammers? Like, all the people that are bad out there too? Like, tell us about that.
Well, I'm a very monogamous person. So how I've sort of counteracted that is I don't date. So I haven't been on a date in 6 years or something. And I just keep it like that, because it goes against what I see as a relationship, but that's somewhat changing now that I've been exposed to different kinds of lifestyles. And so it's sort of, it's definitely opened my mind. Definitely. You have no choice. I've seen some shit. But things still shock me, and it bothers me to sleep with multiple people. It's not my thing. But so I'm just really selective with who I shoot with. And it does hold me back, but it's just the line that I'm working towards being a slut, but that's my biggest challenge, I would say, is just going for it. That dark cloud of your health and stuff like that lingers over your head.
Right.
So I struggle with that. But I think there are some good people in the industry. I definitely got played from my first shoot. I got played. I got bullshitted. I fell for it, but luckily I fell for it from day one.
From day one, so
yes.
Do you mind sharing what happened if you're okay with that? If not,
yeah,
skip it over.
Oh no, I would love to share because so there was this talent that messaged me, and I looked him up, and he had a lot of following. So I was like, okay. And he invited me for AVN, the last one that we had, which was
2021.
No, 2020, because it was January. Yeah. So it was pretty much 2019 because it was the first few days of 2020, but or maybe it was 2019, and I don't know. It's been a while. So, anyways, it was the last AVN that we had. And wait, two before, so it was 2019.
There we go.
Okay, time flies when we're having fun. So, anyways, so I was there. And he said, do you want to come film? And that it would be a trade. And I didn't know what a trade was. I just thought this would be my way of getting my foot in the door.
Okay.
So, and he made me believe that. So I went. He had no idea I was his first shoot. But obviously now I know he knew because I was a ding dong. I showed up. We did paperwork.
Yeah.
I didn't know about paperwork. So he told me that he would email me a copy. And I'm like, right on. And then he told me to bring a hard drive, and we filmed our stuff. And he had stinky balls, and he didn't smell good, and I didn't know you can say something. And so he was gross. And so, anyways, he's good looking, but he doesn't. The hygiene was not there.
No.
And so I just gagged through it. We filmed it, and then I gave him my hard drive, and he recorded, or he was transferring it. And then he went, look, here it is. It's all transferred. Hit play. Then he played it for 3 seconds. I'm all great. I wouldn't even asked for that. Handed me my thing. I went home. I stick it in mine, and it's a few seconds of me. And then it was some Asian model.
What?
And so I was like, oh, he must have accidentally put this here. So I call him up and I'm like, hey, I think you mistakenly put someone else's on mine. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I can get back to you in 2 weeks and get it on there. And I'm like, okay. So in the meantime, he's promoting his. I'm promoting because I think it's cool, that I'm with him and that I was trying to, put myself out there.
Yeah.
And so I promoted his. I did everything for him. And then I get mine. Oh, then I asked him 2 weeks later on the dot. He contacts me and says, I'm going to send it. I'm like, great. Go check it in the Dropbox, and there's nothing there. And I'm like, well, it says 0, and there's no. And I said, he goes, you need a special program to open it.
What?
And I'm like,
no.
Okay. So I send it to this editor guy. I'm like, isn't there nothing here? And he's like, yeah, there's nothing here.
Oh, fuck.
And so then I went, okay. So I contacted him. He completely ghosted me.
Oh my God.
And then he gave me some clips, just crap clips that you can't even really use.
Yeah.
But he never emailed me the paperwork either.
Fucking hell.
So he fucked me for free. He fucked me over. And it's such a violation. You almost feel like someone's raped you. And I told him that, and I went after him as much as I could. And then I realized he's still a crumb snatcher and I am not. So, And I let everybody I know about him. And he's definitely, they've called me and said, hey, so and so reached out to me, haha. And they said I told him no. And I said, did you mention my name? Yep. So I know that these people have specifically told him no.
Good.
And if I ruined one job for him, I'm good. But I know it's much more than one that has.
I'm glad.
So, yeah.
I'm so glad he's saying, and you're like spreading the word about that, because unfortunately, and we don't talk about this so much on the show, but like I
didn't know.
Like, well, one, sometimes you just don't know when you're brand new going into an industry that you don't know much about. But also there's people that even within our industry that are still predatory and will take advantage and take
all the time. Like they're everywhere. Like I would say 80% of the people, they're not part of our industry. A lot of them aren't. A lot of them are just men with cameras, you know? Yeah. So, and that's probably 80% of your contact that you get, maybe 90. Mm-hmm. That is all bullshitters. Like you have to go into it knowing that they're probably bullshitting you and then dissect them. Always get references. Call the model. Call us. If they use my name, call me. Like get on my social media, do something and ask me, have they been with you? Because many times I've had girls reach out to me and say, so he said you filmed with him and this and that. And I'm like, I've never even heard of him. You know, and so you always contact. Don't let him give you a phone number. You look it up, or you look up my social media, or always look at their work. You know, let me see your work. Like, do you really work? And then any of them, they always say, oh no, this is the first one. I just, dude, bro. How about you go get some under your belt and then come back? Because the first one, no,
absolutely
no. Do not be anyone's first.
Yeah,
we're not losing our virginity anymore. Like we're past that. We're not popping cherries here. So just don't do it, and be prepared that you like as much as even I know now, and I feel like I'm a very keen. I can zone in on this shit. I still get got, you know, and you got to be prepared for that because it gave me a pretty hard blow. Like I felt so violated. Like my body, just everything I felt like was taken advantage of for him doing that to me.
Absolutely. It was completely a violation.
And it wasn't a feeling I expected to have over something like that. Like it truly made me feel like he violated me. And I believe he did, because I would have never consented to having sex with him if I was not in this situation that we had made an agreement. I would never have slept with him.
Yeah.
Never. So that's taking it from me. And I believe that should be a different category of rape.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. He totally did it without my consent because he didn't follow through. But that's my opinion on it.
No, I agree with you with that. And like, thank you for sharing, being vulnerable with that. It's unfortunately sometimes very hard to talk about, but something that we need to shed light on in this industry. Mm-hmm. So, and again, I know there's a lot of people that listen to the show that like are listening to this for advice and stuff. And that's definitely some sound advice. Mm-hmm. You can take.
They'll get you.
They'll get you. But
and if it starts with a J and an A, his name, run away.
There we go. Yeah, so talking about boundaries or lack there might have been. Tell us about that, because like it sounds like it sounds like you offer a little bit, and that's fine. But when you were kind of going into the industry, like did you know what direction you wanted to go in, or like how did that all work for you? Or people are just like, this is what we want to do. Are you up for it?
So basically my fans have directed me into what niche I got into. So I'm a very reserved person, even in the bedroom. I realized I had to suck dick. That was one that I had to really sit with myself and be like, because believe it or not, I didn't do that. So, which is why I probably don't have a husband. But anyway, so there was things like that really, like, I had to really sit with myself to think about. And I thought you had to go extreme, except you don't. Like I'm very reserved. I've never been pressured to do something like, come on, just try it. Like nothing, not even close. Have I gotten callbacks? Maybe not. You know, who knows what their reasoning is for anything. But it's something that I've never been pushed to do any further. And so what I ended up falling into was the taboo category. I'm a MILF.
Right.
The mommy fetish. And at first they were calling me mommy. I'm like, no, like, dude, that's sick. Like, I honestly thought this is some twisted shit. You want me to be your sister? You want me to be your mom? You want to fuck your mom? Like, what's
Yeah.
wrong with you? And it took me like constantly being hit up for that to open my mind a little bit. And so
Mhm.
once I was like, money makes me open my mind. So, so I was like, I'm going to let them do whatever. And then it's online. What's the big deal? Because at first I was, webcamming.
Yeah.
So that's how I got exposed to it. And then I quickly realized this has nothing to do with them wanting to fuck their biological moms. Like, it just doesn't, not even close.
Mhm.
It's similar. I don't know if you want to get into it, but it's similar as like the saying daddy. They
Yeah.
don't want to fuck their biological dads. They just don't. And
No.
they don't want to fuck their sister. They don't want to fuck their brother. That's fucking gross. Like, they just don't. It has nothing to do with that. So once I really got into it, it is so much fun. And it's a lot, like, basically they jerk off to the dialogue. So I don't even
Mhm.
have to really push my boundaries at all. I have not been at a point where I felt like I needed to push myself further than I was comfortable going, because it's a lot of dialogue and it is fun.
Yeah, it was
So much
definitely
fun. So no, I had no direction. I had no understanding of really the list of do's and don'ts that's really there. My don'ts is a lot longer than my do's, and that's okay. It's
that is
okay.
okay.
Yes.
I'm so glad that you said that. First of all, I'll just say this. Like, I feel like a lot of the times in sex work, people think that you have to offer everything like under the sun and you have to be willing to do everything.
No.
But I don't know. I really feel like it's the opposite. Yeah. So no.
No, leave that to that other girl over there. She can do it. This one can do that, and this one, and I refer people. You're looking for this?
Yeah.
Here, let me find you someone, because I'm not going to do it. And that's okay, because there's
Yeah.
always someone else that wants what you have. There's
Oh,
just
yeah.
always there's enough for everybody. So
Oh, there's more than enough for everybody out there. Like, for like
yes,
literally anything that you can imagine or anything that you can
it's
fantasize
out
about.
there, and I can find it for you. I'll be your human directory. Yeah.
Well, let's kind of go back a little bit too in terms of like the psychology behind going into this whole mommy fetish and MILF fetish and stuff too. Like, where do you think this comes from? And is it, like you mentioned, it's not about actually, I want to sleep with my mom or I want to sleep with my sister. Where does it come from? Like, can you kind of analyze that a little bit for the
Well,
audience?
well, first, I'm not a like doctor or psychologist or anything. So
No.
this is only based off of what my interactions, what I believe it to be. I believe it's similar. Okay, so I say it's similar to the daddy fetish, where you have the older man, younger woman. He's a caregiver, a provider, that sort of role. And
Yes.
then we have the men who have the mommy fetish. Typically, they're really young, but I do have ones older than me and my age, like actually a lot of them. So the age doesn't matter, but they want the dominant, strong, experienced female, but without the mistress BDSM nature of it. So
Gotcha.
they don't want the whips and chains, and they don't want all that, but they do want the dominance. But I'm very nurturing. I'm a mom. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it would be, you're more nurturing than disciplining. Like, I'll go,
Right.
oh honey, you're doing that all wrong. Do you want mom to show you how to rub your penis?
I
Oh,
love
yes.
this.
Oh, yes. I'll show you how to do it. No, it's not wrong, honey. I, I'm your mom, and so and then it's the naughty nature of doing something wrong. Um,
Yes.
but it's so much fun. It's fun. It's it's the whole storyline. The bat, like my son's peeking around the corner, I'm watching him jerk off. It could be just a bunch of different scenarios. I walk in he's watching my home videos that I made for his father, and stuff like that. It's great. Like it's
Oh, yeah. No, this is great. And thank you for the explanation. Just in case people are not really familiar with what the mommy fetish is and like the psychology behind it. But like for me, what it sounds like, again, it's really catering and it's more akin to like the characteristics of what like a mom would,
yes.
you know,
Older
ex-
woman, yeah, experienced, a
yeah.
teacher, a nurturer, yes. So, and there's also the stepmom. A lot of
Mhm.
people use that for the legalities. Legalities. It's terms and conditions. It's not against the law. But when you say stepmom, in my opinion, it's a totally different category. That's fucking your dad's wife or something. That's not.
Right.
So
It's a different
I say
category.
extreme mommy fetish because I go to the extreme perversion side of it. And I
Mhm.
mean really extreme. Um, because it's just extra perverted. Like it's
Yeah.
much further than, you know, I'm fucking my dad's hot, bimbo wife. Like it's not like that. And I'm like, well, oh son, it's not bad. Your penis was made inside of me, so it belongs there. you know, Stuff like that. So the
That's
extreme
great.
perversion of it, and it's all in fun. It's all in, I'm not out. I don't talk like that with my own family. Like it's just not. We don't have it
No.
in our minds that we're thinking of anybody underage. Like that's just.
No.
I'm not a child molester. I'm not anything like that. These are grown men. All of them are grown,
They're
verified
all
grown.
legal.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it's same as daddy and daughter. He's not anybody who's called daddy is not in bed in the bedroom is not fucking their kids. Like it's just
No,
not. It's not. It's
it's
really
not.
not. So if we could compare those two, the day someone hits me up on a platform and tells me I can't say mommy, we'll have a problem because I will go balls to the walls for us, for us who love it, because
Yeah.
they better stop that daddy shit then. But
It goes both
I've
ways.
never had a problem. I've never had anyone or any platform stop me,
Mhm.
and then I go to the extremes. So
Yeah, I mean, like, along with that extreme fetish, that extreme side of things, I guess there's maybe some kind of alluring, attractiveness, or I don't know, like curiosity maybe about like the forbidden, because it's so taboo,
yes,
because you're not
yeah.
supposed to do this, right?
Yeah, it's
Like,
wrong. I'm your mother, for God's sakes. You can't look at me like that. So yeah, it's very wrong. It's very naughty. But that's sort of the nature of a kink and a fetish. It's like it's if you took away the naughtiness or it being wrong in societal eyes, it's not really a kink anymore.
right,
Like doesn't
right.
that what makes it valuable is the fact that it's naughty?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a really good point because I feel like
So
a lot of kinks are like that too. It's just like that taboo esqueness of
yes,
it all.
there's some sort of like societal no to it, which is what porn's all about. We're supposed to
Yeah.
be crude. We're supposed to be obscene. That's what porn is. It's
Mhm.
obscene. Like, oh, we're being obscene in nature. It's porn. We're supposed I mean, it is obscene. So I like to keep the obscene and all that stuff in porn. And
Mhm.
you don't need to sit there and fuck to do that. I don't need a load on my face to do that. I
Right.
can do it with dialogue. So
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's
like
fun.
going like going into this like the whole talk about kink and
Uh-huh.
fetish and like how extreme they can be. Um Again, I love that you're always emphasizing like I don't actually think like this. This is like a role that I'm playing. This is a fantasy. Do
Yes,
you
it's
ever
acting.
It is. Acting. Thank you.
Yes.
I mean, do you think that some people, or maybe your clients, do you ever think about that some people might actually have this real? attraction to some of their family members, and that's why they consume porn that's like this? Like, do you ever think about that?
Yeah, I have thought of it, but I've never gotten any impression that anybody really wants to fuck their mom. I
Yeah,
have not had any inkling of that, because it's just so far fetched from that's like a sickness, a
yeah,
mental like issue.
that's
This
incest.
is playing for fun in the bedroom. Like it's just not. I've never had any inklings that someone is going to now go slip into their mother's room and slide under the sheets. Like
Mhm. Good.
I just can't even imagine. Like, and even if I'm not going to say it, I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't share it with me, but I'm not catering to that because that's a mental ill.
Yeah,
That's like you're fucking sick.
like that's
Um,
incest.
yeah,
Like
it's
very
incest,
wrong.
anything with kids or anything that
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
right.
trigger that kind of sickness in someone. They either have it or they're not. That's not my it's not
Yeah,
something that, and you know what? Frankly, if someone did have that extreme sickness and they were coming to me online, it's better than them doing it in real life, if that's what
I
it
was
boiled
gonna
down to. I would much rather them get their kicks from me where it's, where everybody's consenting and our age and everything instead of going and
absolutely.
doing it in real life. So,
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way. Like, it's better that they're consuming this kind of content rather than like going out and trying to commit these awful
yep,
crimes in person,
yep.
because that's some really like sick, twisted shit that no one should ever become a victim of ever.
And
So
we can't hold that responsibility in the sense
no,
that we cannot help that kind of mental illness and sickness. Like it is doesn't lie on our plates. It didn't start with us. It's not going to end with us. It's just it's a responsibility that we should not take on. We should be aware of it, and obviously the whole world should be. But it is not by any means our fault that someone is mentally ill. In that category, like
capacity. Yeah,
it's just not. Like
yeah, no,
I didn't make someone schizophrenic. Like they came to me that way. I didn't make someone, bipolar. I didn't make it's just doesn't. The responsibility does not lie on our lap. I don't believe so at
no.
all.
And that goes with pornography in general, because I have done an episode like with one of the sexual health educators that I'm friends with, and we had a listener send in this documentary about pornography, and it was like the war on pornography, and that whole thing that's really tired,
Yeah,
that whole narrative and stuff too, that porn causes this. And I personally don't think it does, but like also like again, going back to this particular conversation, um if people are suffering from that, they actually need to seek like professional help.
yeah. That has nothing to do with us, and we are not your professional help. Trust me. No.
No, and some people think that we are
We
like.
need professional help too, so let's not know. But on going on that, you say like I'm definitely on both sides of that
Mhm,
controversy. I believe that porn can and does have negative effects on our society as a whole.
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
I think there's a time and place for everything, an age.
Yeah,
I believe it's too readily, accessible.
available. Yeah, I
But
agree with.
but then I'm on the flip side of if we would stop acting like it's such a bad thing, um, we could normalize it a little bit more. If our spouses were caught cheating, but if we had more of a free spirited
Approach.
like it wasn't so devastating that I was cheated on, it would not have impacted me so deeply if we
Mhm.
were more free spirited and we had that freedom. Because let's get real here. Like, people do look at other people. People do, you can stay faithful. You can.
Yeah.
I was faithful. But it's not a direct hit to you if someone's getting online and checking out a cam model. Like
Mhm.
I feel like I deal with so many men that can't tell their partners who they are, and it's really no big deal. They could probably have a great time. I guess the word is we lack communication. We do not communicate in relationships. We don't.
Yeah.
Like, we're not
No.
taught it. We're taught to hide it because it's wrong. Don't do
Yes.
this, don't do that. And it's like, they do, and then it hits the other partner as such a deep betrayal. And you're like, why couldn't they just say it? It's because we're not taught that it's okay to say it. Like, big deal.
Absolutely. Like, I have words about that too. And like going back to that porn thing, like, and the whole like divide between that. I'm also with you in terms of like who's accessing it, how old are they when they're accessing it,
Yeah.
and you know what kind of porn they're exposed to, because I think some of that can be definitely problematic.
You
For
think?
sure.
Like, what porn would be? Oh, you think there should be like a soft area for if they're a certain age? And
I don't know.
then
I just feel like a lot of teenagers, and this is only like based on because I also work for a sexual health education company as
oh
well.
yay, I want to hear this.
With kids, yeah,
Uh-huh.
with kids. And like, you know, I think the major concern is just like kids watching too much of a violent or extreme porn and then thinking that is normal and then trying to emulate that in their own relationships and that being a
Yes.
problem.
Well,
So
they
I
shouldn't be watching it at all. Like, right?
no.
Like, yeah. As a see, that's my point. I think it has that because it does. They've shown it has effects on our brains. Same as doing cocaine. Like,
Mhm.
you want to get coked, just watch some porn. So get the blow, do the porn. But it does affect their brain. But when it's growing too, like they shouldn't see it at all. I don't even think the soft nature of it is even. But then again,
Mm,
dude, what age all of a sudden you throw it at them when they're
I
18?
know.
Like,
Well, that's
it's
the thing.
really,
It's just like it just depends.
it
Depends on parenting
does.
styles.
It does. Like the people who are really strict on their kids and they don't let them date and this and that. Yeah. Well, why do we do that? Well, we do it because we don't want them to get pregnant. We
Yeah.
don't, the consequences from it. But why not just take care of that issue? Put an implant
Yeah.
in their arm, do something to take. But then and let them explore a little bit. Like I don't know.
Like, where's that fine line with that? And like, I also feel like parents are really scared of having these conversations with kids, unfortunately. And then they leave it
Yeah,
to educators or to their teachers at school, and the teachers
yeah.
don't want to teach this content
Or
either.
my sex ed teacher was a lesbian that was a virgin. Like we used to go, and I was having sex, but she wasn't. I was like, what the fuck? Like, who is this woman? And so she did the best she could out of the book.
Yeah.
Like she taught me about my period and stuff, but like I already had it. So it's like, yeah, it's really, where do you learn? I think I wish that people would learn amongst each other, like your partners, and
Mhm.
not have what you think it's supposed to look like, and not
Right.
just having that like teaching that communication with each other, teaching young men to communicate.
Hmm.
We're talkers, but we're also, I believe that I've been taught that it's wrong to, or this is weird, or this, like, I feel
Hmm.
like I'm definitely societally, is that a word? Societally
Yeah.
affected by this is wrong. Swinging is not right. You don't, you
Right.
let someone fuck your wife. And then now that I've been around it so much, dude, they're the funnest people, and they see it more like going bowling, like it's an
Yeah.
activity for out on the weekend. It's not. It's not like I'm giving my wife's body away. They see it as they're
No.
fucking having some fun. And really, what do
Yeah.
people our age do besides drink?
Yeah.
What do we do? We can go bowling, maybe a movie theater. Like, what do adults do? We don't really have activities in our society.
Yeah. This is true.
There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Like, you're either a drinker or you're not. And it's like, well, I'm not. So then what do you do? And so I think that's and you can go to these events. I don't participate. They take me in just like everybody else. And they're so much fun, so free spirited,
Yeah.
great
So much.
communicators, great relationships. And to me, I could see that working, but I see all these monogamous ones that even that does not work. And it's like, do
Mhm.
we keep trying to put the triangle in the square? Like, how many
Where,
times
yeah.
when are we going to get it? So I'm having to reevaluate and look at my own belief system and
Mhm.
see here's black and white. This is in front of my face, and and what works and what doesn't. And it's really hard to break down something that's just instilled in you.
Oh yeah, well that's really hard because then you grow up a certain way, you grow up with certain values,
You just
and like,
don't know. Yeah.
and it's just sometimes it's generationally too passed down. Like, my grandparents taught like my parents, and then my parents taught what they knew, what they were exposed to me, and then
Exactly.
it's like, okay, wait, this is sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
Sometimes it doesn't, and I'm just even realizing that why do we keep doing stuff that doesn't work? You know what I mean? Like, but yet I'm not willing to explore that part of things yet because I think it's so affected. Like, it has affected me to the point where, like, this brick wall, like, it's hard as shit to get down when you're older, especially. Like, it's just hard.
It's like habitually, right? So like,
Yeah.
you start to break those habits and try to like learn a new way of doing things, or like kind of tweak your mind.
Yeah, to say it's okay, but you're like, but just don't believe it's okay. So it's like, it's really, it's been really eye opening. It's taught me to not be so judgmental because I realized how judgmental I was, and it was bad. Like, I was like, that's fucking weird. That's gross. That's like, quit saying that. Really, is it weird? These people are having like, it's none of my business. I don't have to look at it, but it's really been it's really been a struggle, especially with the extreme fetishes that I've been exposed to. Yeah. Wow.
Well,
There's
you know what?
Fun
Good
stuff.
for you.
There's some fun stuff out there. But hey, it's I don't have to participate. I don't, but they are enjoying it. Yeah. I can appreciate the fact that they're enjoying it, and I can give them enough that they have the right to do that, and I should not get, my opinion doesn't mean shit at the end of the day. So why give it? Don't say it. Why does everybody have to point at someone and say, that's wrong or it's weird? Just go for it. And there's someone else who has the same weird fetish you do. Someone.
Yeah, no, there literally is people out there for whatever it is that you're attracted
to. Everything. Yes. Wow.
Well, tangents aside and fetishes and kinks aside, I also want to talk to you about your podcast as well.
Yes.
Sex with Lily Show. Tell us a little bit about that.
Phone Sex with Lily Show. That's another area I just fell into. So long story short, I was asked to stand in, do some porn star interviews, and I'm like, sure, no problem. Here's hand recorder, did it over the phone. It was during COVID. And I was like, fuck, these are boring. Like, just straight up boring. And I'm like, and it's not that my guest was boring, but like, I didn't bring what a host, I believe, should have brought to the show. And so I'm like, okay, I need to think of something else because this sucks. And so I stopped and thought, well, it's during COVID. It's over the phone. What sells? Sex sells. Phone sex. So I decided the first 2 minutes I would have phone sex with my guest. Except I started telling them beforehand, and I would let them know, a week or two beforehand, hey, I'm going to have phone sex with you at the beginning. And all of them either skipped out on me, or one time someone showed up with a script.
What?
Yes. And I went, this is not working. Like, it failed miserably. Like, so it never, the guests I lined up, I still haven't had them on. They skipped out. And so I was getting backed up. I had no interviews, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it by not telling them. I'm not going to tell them. And so when we pop on our monitors, and I'm like, hey, so here's how my show goes. And I'm going to have phone sex with you for 2 minutes. And they go, what? And you go, don't worry. It's all good. Like, I'll lead the way. Okay. It's cool. Trust me. And you go, ready? Okay, here we go. And I hit record right then. Nobody knows beforehand. They don't. I give them all the information to look it up. They don't look it up. because
Yeah,
no one knows because they're sitting there. And as you can imagine, there's lots of characters and personalities in our industry. So that 2 minutes has turned into ping, 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 like every angle imaginable. It is just they're a hoot, and it really took off. And that's what has done it.
I love it.
It's so much fun, so much fun.
I, I did listen to a couple episodes too, and you can kind of
Yeah,
tell when some people are like nervous or like don't know how to react or like what do I
yeah,
say? Or, like it's live, so it's
yeah.
like
I'm like, hello. Should we try it? You and me, ready?
yeah, we should
You
do
ready?
it. We should
Okay.
do it.
Hello. No.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm okay.
Oh, you're kind of giggling. Is there a reason why you're laughing?
You're making me nervous, Lily.
Oh, nervous. Nervous because of are you attracted to me?
I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
You
Very hot.
are. Are you attracted to that man across the street I saw you looking at?
You have a good eye.
Yes. How about we meet up in the middle of the street and stop his vehicle?
Sounds like a great idea.
All right. We'll be like, excuse me, beep, beep. Pull over, pull over. Okay.
I love it. I love it.
I've got his pants. You get the
I'll get the shirt.
blindfold, and we're
Yeah,
going
I
to
get the
town.
blindfold. Okay.
Yeah, we got the blindfold.
Like
I'll rip
this
his pants down, and we'll just have
go
him
to
in the middle of
town.
the neighborhood, huh?
I love it.
It's all about golf balls and garden hoses, right?
You
So,
are so good at this.
but it's just the way we talk about all kind, like some of it has nothing to do with phones, but it's just funny. Like
Fun.
it's a hoot. So I've only had two people tell me, like, right then they said no. And
Oh,
and I was like, why? And one, explained both of them were on the business to business side of the industry, and it wasn't their only adult was not their only clientele. So only one, which was Miss Reba Rocket from Takedown Piracy. She is a Southern belle. No, I could not have her on. So I said, you know what?
oh,
I'm going to let her slide. The other one, I said, hit the road, Jack. But Reba, I said, Miss Reba, you can stay. And because what she had to say was so valuable. And nobody even noticed.
yeah.
So
That's such a fun concept, though.
it's it's a lot of fun, but she's the only one I let slide. Maybe we should give her a hard time about it.
You should.
Yeah.
That's fun. I mean, that's a really, really unique way of like breaking the ice.
Yeah. And people stay on for the whole 2 minutes, and then and then I just do a regular porn star interview.
Podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. And we'll definitely be plugging the show. They're in the show notes already. If you all haven't clicked already, go ahead and hit subscribe.
Yeah.
But before I let you go, I still also want to hear about like all the events that you do in adults.
So now that I'm media as well as talent, I've been attending like the Exoticas, the Exotica expos. I go as media and talent, so I divide my time. I can do interviews there from their booths. It's been a lot of fun doing that. It's definitely wearing two different hats has been quite. It's so cool. Like
Different.
you just get to be two different people, but the experiences, the networking, the people that I've met is priceless. Absolutely priceless. I met you through the networking. We were at the networking, the speed networking where and I was at the wrong table. I think. Remember?
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, because I didn't understand the numbers. I was just sitting at the table, and I'm like, well, what table do I go to now? And then I found out there were numbers on my paper, but anyway. So we got together a couple of times, but it's great networking. It's been an awesome platform. I've done Exotica. Then I did Why Not? I got to do the red carpet Hollywood Awards show this year.
Yeah,
that was last month.
Last month, right?
I got to interview. They so graciously invited me to interview the talent that was walking on the red carpet, and that was a hoot. That was fun. And why not go? Why not? I'm still
We
a
love Why
huge
Not.
fan. I wouldn't. Anybody who wants to get in the industry, check out Why Not. YNOT. and
Dot
it
com.
the award show, everything is top notch, better than a lot of people. And speaking of that, I'll be going to AVN come January, the 4th through the 7th, I believe, in Las Vegas. We are back. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'll get the media credentials to be able to do that as well. So fingers crossed. If you hear that, AVN, please let me in. Knock, knock, knock. Someone's knocking at the door. I'm more like ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. I'm here, I'm here. So I keep, trying to. And with Skyhawk, they can bring their mobile studio from San Diego.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm crossing my fingers. We get in that door, and otherwise I'll be there as talent.
Yeah, nice. So, again, there's so many adult industry related events. You'll likely see Lily there as well.
Yes.
So be sure to check her out. And again, all of your credentials, all the things are going to be on the show notes. So please click. But there are a couple questions that came in that are pretty easy peasy, I would say.
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's go into that right now. And these came from Instagram.
Okay.
From Galigo Smash. Hello and welcome. The first question is, what is the best part about the porn industry?
Oh gosh, hands down, the fans.
Yeah,
the fans, and then that would be the people I work with. But fans are, without the fans, we are nobody. Without the fans, our industry would not thrive. It wouldn't exist. They're our foundation for it all. So absolutely. It all goes to the fans by far.
I love it.
Yes,
I love it. Great. His next question is, what is the worst part about the porn industry?
I would have to say the health concerns would be, as a personal, that would be health, your health, and then and then the scammers. But your most personal directly to you, that would be a concern, would be your health.
Absolutely.
And that's my biggest concern. Mm-hmm. Sort of like a dark cloud you can't really shake. But you can lessen the chances. Your Russian roulette you play, one less bullet in the or a bigger gun or whatever you got to do. But you can definitely lower it. But it's definitely something that hovers over all of us, I believe.
Yeah, interesting.
It's just the facts of what it's all about. I mean, it's just the way it is. So, health.
Are you just referring about just hygiene or disease? And stuff like that?
Oh yeah, disease. Yeah. I would say. As far as mental health, I think we already come in to the industry with mental health problems. Yes. We don't develop them here. It's you don't get into this industry because things are hunky dory and great in life. Most of us get in because you're at some point in your world that is. It's a necessity. I don't want to say desperate, but you're at a level of needing to do this. And then they find out how great we are. So yes. I think a lot of it's, you get in for survival reasons, but you're in a survival position because things haven't gone the way they should have gone for you. You know what I mean? For a reason. Right. So I would say definitely just the physical health, the disease and all that would be a huge factor.
Yeah, because there's just a lot of testing that it needs to be done, and it's just it's a lot.
Even if you test, there's dormant before you. It's not going to show up on a test for a certain amount of time. 10 days for this, 30. It's, and we pound out as many as we can when we're during a tested time, and it's just there's the chances of something happening. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And you just better hope it's not a doozy, that'll take you out the game. But you can definitely do things to really lower the risk, but it's still there.
But it's
So
still there, yeah. Still
yeah.
looming over your head.
Oh yeah. I mean, some people, some people I feel like I'm like, how do I be like them? Like where it's like, it's almost like they're not thinking about it. Maybe they are not educated about it, or maybe they don't care, or maybe it's worth it to them, which is all fair.
Totally.
I'm just not in that mind space. And maybe being a little bit older, you start to care more. Like if I fall, I can't get back up as easy. I can't heal as easy. So just stuff like that. I think that is concerning.
Completely valid and absolutely makes sense, and like something we don't talk about sometimes too.
Ever.
We just talk about the good all the time.
Nobody talks about it. Nope. And I don't know. And it's true. You can, most of it, you can take a pill and you're just done, and big deal, and you caught it on a test. I'm more of a worrier. Like, I just feel like it's my nature to be a little bit overly concerned for stuff, but I feel like it's our health. So
well, you should. Well, I also feel like with health, you should take it seriously.
Yeah.
Right?
And we have a responsibility to each other that I think there's a lack of another talent understanding that when they're out doing what they're doing, that they have a responsibility to me to be able to come home at the end of the day and be healthy. That connection, I think, is broken a lot. Like, it's not there. So, but there's so many responsible people in this industry. There's by no means, but it only takes one.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
And it goes everywhere. Yeah. So,
absolutely.
So
thank you for that.
Yeah, on that one, Debbie Downer, reality check.
It's real. It's a real thing, and I'm just like, for me, again, I just want as much transparency as possible. That's
well, there you go. That's the real of it.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. So,
yep. There you go.
But before I let you go, Lily, where can we all find you?
So you can find me on Twitter at Lily Craven. It's Lily Craven, Craven XXX. And you can catch me, or OnlyFans, Lily Craven, mini vids, Lily Craven, Sex Panther, give me a call because I will talk dirty. I will play with you. Do you need your mommy to read you a bedtime story? Because I can do that for you. So Sex Panther, Lily Craven, all one word. Come check me out. Also, my Phone Sex with Lily show.
Yes.
SkyhawkAfterDarkTV.com. And then from there, it's Spotify, everywhere you can find a podcast. Spotify, YouTube, XBiz TV, you name it. Like, it's just everywhere. Apple, Google, Amazon. Just look up Phone Sex with Lily show.
Yes, please check it out. Her podcast.
I meet with her. Yeah. With you. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at my monitor, but find me with her. I'm with Sia.
There we go. Well, Lily, this was so much fun chatting with you today.
It was great.
Had some great conversations, some really great revelations in this episode too. And for everyone else listening, it's new episodes every single Sunday, dropping at midnight Pacific Standard Time. And you can catch me on all major streaming platforms as well. So if you're an Apple, rate 5 stars, write me a nice review. Same thing on Spotify. Rate 5 stars if you really like the show. Any feedback is always welcome, and you can kind of get at me at Twitter, which is at strippedbysia. Same thing on Instagram, strippedbysia.com. My website's coming out next week, and patreon.com/strippedbysia if you want to become a patron and help support the show financially. So that's it for today.
Yay! Thank you.
So much fun.
It was great. And you're on my show next.
Oh, I got to prepare for this phone sex bit.
No, you're not supposed to know, but yeah, no.
I'll erase my memory.
No, we'll have to be.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. You're listening to Stripped by Sia, hosted, produced, and edited by Steph Sia, music by Ted D, graphic design by Maria Bellandarama, and photography by Ian Dabrin.